Tony Spagnoli.
Tony Spagnoli.
Yeah.
And you're with North American Technician Excellence. Welcome to the booth. This is IHACI. We're doing a live stream on YouTube.
Okay.
So we're bringing people into the booth, different exhibitors, to talk about the products. And one of the reasons I'm here is because I teach for IHACI, and we teach to NATE.
Yeah.
North American Technician Excellence. In fact, I think they're one of the, IHACI is one of the biggest trainers out there right now. Do you think of anybody bigger than IHACI?
Definitely not in Southern California.
In Southern California.
I know you guys have.
Oh, we're in Northern California too. That's where I teach.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you guys have been a big support of ours, and I've been doing NATE testing for a while.
Okay. So and so tell how many certifications does NATE have?
So, including all the specialties, it's about 21 different certifications altogether. So we do have our newer certifications, the CHP5, that's the Certified HVAC Professional. That's our new certification pathway.
Right. Now that's done online, isn't it?
They actually are all available online. So you can test with an organization like IHACI. Or we do have what we call remote live online proctoring, where you can test from the comfort of your own home.
And that one's like $50, right?
Yeah, if you do live online proctoring for the CHP5, it's $75 per exam.
Yeah. Okay. And then, and so what? So that your most basic, you have to do a core.
Yeah. So if you do that traditional pathway, you'll have to do the core and then any one of those specialty exams.
And then specialties when you do it. So and then you have to have a core and a specialty.
Yeah.
Core is 50 questions.
Yep.
Specialty is 100.
Yes, sir.
How about the first one, the 5?
So for the CHP5, it's still 150 questions, but it's 5 30-question exams instead of doing the 50 question
I
core.
got you. So it's a pathway. You pass this one, move to the next one.
Yeah. So if you finish all 5 of those, you would earn that certification.
Okay. And then for any of the, how long is your certification good for with NATE?
So they're all good for 2 years. So in those 2 years, you would need to recertify, and you can do that by submitting 16 hours of continuing education. And those can be any technical training courses you take, as long as they're
IHACI,
like the ones you can take at IHACI. Yeah. And that's a great way to do it, because I know you will do those 4-part courses. That gets you the 16 hours you need, and then you'd be good to go to renew.
Yeah. So it's usually so if the once they have that, it's the renewal process. You pay, I think it's $25 for the first.
Yeah, so $30 for your first specialty,
and then it's
$5 for each additional one. But just like when you became certified, so like if you had heat pump service, as that included those other specialties for free, the renewal is the same way.
So what is it? So you can you do all that online? I don't think you can do the senior analyst online.
Actually, yeah, we do have that exam available online if you wanted to do that through the live online proctoring. And
that's a 4-hour test.
Yeah, that's a long one. It is a tough one, but if you want to do it through live online proctoring.
And that's an open book test, right?
Yeah, that is correct. So you can use any of the reference material that we have listed on the CATE for that one. And with that exam, you probably will need it.
Yeah, and then you can use a computer too, can't you?
Yeah, if you have them saved electronically, like those different documents, you can use the PDF versions.
Okay. So, and the senior analyst, that one is good for the same 2 years to renew?
Yeah, but with that one, when you renew the senior analyst, you get all of your other specialties for free. So once you have that one, you'd just be the $130 charge, and you can renew all your specialties.
Everything's done for free. Well, that's a benefit for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what of all the special, so NATE got when did NATE come about? When did North American
NATE was founded in
came about?
1997. First kind of certification exams became available early '98.
Yeah. Yeah. So and I tell the story about how 2000 we became a Linux Premier dealer, and they required we have one NATE tech on staff for sure. So at the time we didn't know anything about it because it was 2000. Yeah. And we sent a guy down to Atlanta to get trained. He ended up leaving. So Bob and I ended up having to go take the test. Yeah. And when I got there, Charlie Brown, I don't know Charlie Brown? Yeah. Yeah. So Charlie Brown was proctoring the test, and I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. So I was, what's your hardest test you got? And he goes, oh, it's the air distribution test, Mitch. He says, you want to do a practice test? And I said, yeah, sure. So I start the practice. I get 5 questions in. I go, what's the next not hardest test? And he goes, that's going to be heat pump service. Yeah. So the heat pump service, I think, gives you your best value because you get heat pump service, and with every time you get a service specialty, you get the install with it automatically.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you get a heat pump service, heat pump install, but with heat pump you also get air conditioning service and air conditioning service. So you get 4 certs for the price of 1.
Yeah, and that's the same when you renew. You only have to renew that heat pump service, and then you got all the other ones.
Right. And it's nice because you can wear the chevrons. I have chevrons, and I wear it when I'm teaching the class typically.
Yeah.
For all this stuff. And then, so when NATE came about, they were talking back in the day then that the utilities were going to require that in order for it to do some of the incentive funds that were available. Is that anywhere they doing that anywhere in the country, or?
Yeah, I know Southern California Edison still does some of their rebate programs if you have your contractor listed on our C3 page. And also in Denver, Excel Energy, they're doing that as a rebate program. And there's a few others scattered throughout the country.
Yeah, and so who comes up with the test questions on the NATEs? Is there a board that they have that they develop the questions?
So we have our technical committee. So it's a group made up of subject matter experts.
And NATE's a nonprofit.
Yeah, NATE is a nonprofit.
So it's a not-for-profit.
Yeah.
And it's an alternative to going unions, basically.
Yeah, it's another kind of exam way to prove to homeowners that you have the job knowledge and job skills necessary to do the job right.
Right. Yeah, and it is. You guys do some advertising on the stuff on it, everything else. But in my company, when a person gets a NATE certification, I give them $1 raise. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we do know a lot of contractors that do that kind of as a way to benchmark their employees or have a career path available for them.
Right.
They give pay increases for maybe your first specialty, additional specialties as you add them.
So your committee that puts together all the questions and stuff, do they meet every year, or do they change them a lot, or is it?
Yeah,
I know they did a major change a couple years back.
Yeah, we redid the job task analysis for the heat pump exam, and that's actually in beta testing right now. So we actually had a meeting earlier this morning to finish up the cut score for that new exam. Our technical committee generally meets about twice a year, and we'll pick 1 or 2 exams to review the questions for.
Okay. So, because years ago, back in 2000, I volunteered to redo the questions for the CSLB for a C20 contractor's license. Okay. Me and 11 other people. Worst experience I ever had. Oh my God! You get 11 contractors in a room, or 12 contractors in a room. Everybody's got a different opinion, and we had to get through 3,000 questions. Yeah. And I could tell you the answers, but I'd have to kill you, so I can't. I was sworn to secrecy. All right. Yeah, 3 layers of things. And NATE takes their testing very seriously. The proctoring exams they're all timed. You have an hour and a half for your core, and especially has 2.5 hours. What does the 5s have?
Each one is up to an hour, but they're just 30 questions each.
The 30 questions, so they should be able to breeze through that in an hour.
Yeah.
And then they're very, no phones. You can't have smartwatches, no tablets when you're doing the proctoring and stuff. And and it's a great environment if you're going to do the testing. What does a testing online cost now for a specialty or a core? Yeah, so if you do the live online proctoring, a core would be $150 and the specialty is $160. Right. That's another reason why you should do the IHACI classes and then do the proctoring there with SCE, SDG, or any of the other IOUs like PG&E, because it's $130. We get a discount because we're doing more of them at one time. So yeah, definitely doing quantity. But we still have quality, by the way. So. All right. Okay, we're going to have to take a little break while he's doing the announcements.
NATE certification is absolutely vital to our field. It's a way that we can standardize what technicians know, so an employer can understand whether a technician coming in has a certain amount of knowledge. It's not a simple job. This is a job that requires a depth of understanding, and training and certification are absolutely vital. I would encourage everyone in this industry to make sure that not only are their technicians NATE certified, that they're NATE certified, that it goes throughout the organization, because that only raises the tide of all of our industry.
So, if you were to give advice to somebody starting in the industry now, do the 5s first if you're going to do it. Yeah. Training is always just an amazing thing to do. It's a great way to get into the industry, kind of turn this job into a career by getting that certification.
you know, adding that level of professionalism to it. So the CHP5 is a great way to start, and then once you have that certified HVAC professional, if you did want to add specialty exams, you could do that without having to retake the core. That CHP5 would count as your core.
Yeah, so count as a core. So you don't have to take the core, just have to take the specialty.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool. So you could do those, and then you can just continue on.
Yeah.
How long does it usually take a person to get through the 5s?
So you have up to 6 months in between each one, but it just kind of varies based on the technician. Some are, you know, kind of do one every other month. Others take the full 6 months in between each one.
Right. So last time I looked, it was around 35,000 certified technicians that are NATE certified. Is that still about the same, or has it gone up or down? Or
it's gone up. I think the last time I ran it, just a few months ago, we're up to about 41,000.
41,000. So that means it's working, because people are going out there and doing it. And like I said, in my company, I give a guy advances in pay if he goes ahead and gets a certification.
Yeah.
So NATE as a group, because it's a non-profit and everything else on it stuff. Their mandate. What's the charter that NATE has that they provide what?
Yeah, so our mission statement is to recognize technicians through our certification program, and then develop technicians through our training programs.
Right. So you continue education, keep them abreast of the stuff that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And in order to get the NATE credits, everything has to be approved. You guys approve the training, whatever it is, and so it's not just like, oh yeah, he's going to have a class on run thermostats. There's a NATE credit. No, you don't do that.
Yeah. So organizations like IHACI submit their courses to us. We review those and approve them ahead of time. And then as certified technicians take them, you all submit us the rosters, and then that's the great thing. Those hours just show up right on the record because it's been pre-approved.
The record, yeah. I know, because I get partial credit. I get half credit for teaching the classes.
Yeah.
I always got like 180 hours or something, you know.
Yeah, easy to recertify with that.
Stupid amount. So, okay, well, fantastic. I'm glad you come by and stop by the booth. You have anything else you want to add?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Covered it all. Okay. So if you're not NATE certified, first of all, start taking the training. IHACI training is excellent training. It's free. It's at night, so you can do your job. Some of it is webinar. Some classes are simulcast, so it'll be webinar, or you could do in person. It's excellent training, and then it's geared toward the NATE, getting your NATE certifications. And it's more than that. We do a lot of other stuff, just that, but it's it's geared for it. And then with the NATE certification, it stays with you. It's not, the company doesn't own it. You did that yourself. You can take that to your next job if you need to. You say, hey, I'm heat pump certified service. And then they see that. And as an employer, that gives you one up with the guy that's not. So
no, it's a great way for an employer to know that you have the job knowledge and skills.
And have the ability to do what you should be able to do.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in, man.
All right.
I appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And keep up the good work.
All right.
All right.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, now we're back to live again. What time is it?
I have two favorite classes, real close to one another, but I would say number 2 would be AC and heat pump refrigeration module. I love the flow of refrigerant, but it is edged out by air distribution. Air distribution is my favorite, it's my passion. I was taught at a very early age, literally 11, how to use a ductilator and was expected to use that. Talked about static pressure and things like that. And it's something that we all need to do. Every piece of equipment out there can satisfy the requirements of our end user if, big if we simply do our job and get to know what we work on.